some of you might get a little bit nervous thinking, oh, these animals are quite large and I don't know that I'm really comfortable around horses. And I hear you because they are large. And Monique is definitely the horse person. I am not. I mean, I've always loved them from a distance and I've loved to touch them. But the moment I would go, horses are very sensitive and they could feel that I was quite nervous around them. But the more and more I interact and I notice things, the less nervous I become. The other day I was at the stable and Monique let me put on is it called a halter? Call it a bridle. So she let me put on the halter and lead the horse out. And the horse he knew I didn't know what I was doing. So he was trying to get around me and get out of the door of the stable. And he actually came down and he kind of like nipped at me. Now he didn't bite me by any means, but he just kind of like, listen, lady, you don't know what you're doing. And I realized that it wasn't about not being scared. It was about when the moment came and I was fearful and the horse recognized it, what did I do in that moment? So, of course, I turned to the brilliant Monique and I was like, what am I supposed to do? She says, well, you just say no and give him a little tap on the nose. And I did. And it was an immediate shift in response that he gave me, a respect, empowerment that I felt. And instead of taking him out to the pasture like this, I was now in charge. So it wasn't about not being scared.
Mm-hmm.
It was about when it comes then and we recognize it and someone's actually noticed it back, mirrored it back for us. And that happens in our everyday life, not just with the horses. I mean, everyone's a mirror in your life. So if there's somebody you don't like, that's probably because there's an aspect of you that's resonating with it. And it's, what am I going to do in that moment? Am I going to stay scared? Or am I going to, give it a little tap on the nose and say, no, I'm the boss here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the leader.
It's about being present.
Yeah.
It's about always being present in your body and being aware of what's going on and being able to act in the moment, not just react, but actually act in that moment in a positive way, in a stronger way. And that's what horses do. They demand you to be present and know what's going on in your body, and being afraid and around a horse is totally fine as long as you know that that's what's going on and you're not trying to cover it up and pretend that it's not there. You deal with it and move on, and the horse will respect you for that.
And I think that's a big part of this whole aspect of being present. I mean, I talk to women all the time who say, my mind won't be quiet. I have so much going on in my mind. But when you're around these animals and we're doing the leadership and we're doing the personal growth around the horses, you have to learn that, and you have to learn it pretty quick. And not even you have to, or it's like do or die or anything like that. But you just end up learning it quicker because it's more.
It's experiential. You learn in the moment, and that's the best way of learning. Is learn by doing.
Yes. Yeah. So quieting that mind, being present, being in that moment,